Hello everyone, my name is Yana and I am CG Specialist at Chaos Group. I want to thank you all for having me today. I hope that you all can see my screen and also hear me well. If not, please write a comment in the chat so we know that. I am really excited to introduce to you our latest V-Ray product, and this is V-Ray for Revit. It was launched 2 weeks ago, and in the following presentation you're going to see how powerful V-Ray for Revit could be and how it can help you and support you through the whole visualization process from the very beginning to the very end. So here you can see an overview what I want to talk about today, starting with a few words why we decided to develop V-Ray for Revit and also what were our goals. Then I'm going to walk you through the installation and licensing processes. This is something pretty straightforward, but still nice to see. And in the main part of this webinar session, I'm going to demonstrate to you V-Ray for Revit, so you can see how easy it is to render with it, how you can have realistic looking materials, how you can speed up the rendering process using the V-Ray denoiser, and then I'm going to talk about the virtual reality, which is something very trendy nowadays, and also I want to show you how easy it is to render a VR output in V-Ray. And at the end, I will talk about the V-Ray Swarm, which is a distributed rendering manager, so you see how you can add additional render power to the rendering process. So, you probably already know that we have V-Ray for more than 10 different softwares. And every time when we decide to develop V-Ray for a certain platform, we do our research. For us, it's very important to give, in this case, to the Revit users something useful to work with. And so we have done our research. We have talked to a lot of different companies and individuals to see what people actually miss in their pipelines, and what they want and need inside of Revit. And it turned out that we need to make V-Ray for Revit accessible by and to designers, so they can really easily render like visualization experts without any need to have technical understanding or to understand anything, to have rendering understanding. So we make V-Ray really, really easy and the interaction with the software smooth and simply. Also, the results needed to be good and we needed to make V-Ray fast. And I really believe that we succeeded in this. And V-Ray for Revit has a really designer-friendly interface. It is preset-based, it is icon-based, so people really can guide themselves through the process by having a really intuitive workflow. V-Ray for Revit also will help to make design decisions faster like never before. And yeah, so V-Ray is also industry standard, especially in the architecture. And I'm really proud and happy to share with you that 9 and 2 of the top 100 architectural companies and studios worldwide, they use V-Ray, they render with V-Ray every day. And many of them use V-Ray not only for one platform, but also for more than one platform. So this is how the installer will look like. You can install V-Ray For Revit 2015, in my case, I just had 2016 and 2017. So with I can choose where to install V-Ray. Then, in order to use our new licensing, online licensing, we need to install also the license server. And yeah, so the installer is really easy to use. We just need to click next, and V-Ray will, the installer will do the rest for us. This here is the V-Ray Swarm system, the distributed rendering engine in V-Ray for Revit. I will talk about this later on. Those are just the settings. We don't need to change anything. Just click on the install button in here. This is how you can check your licenses, and in my case here I have plenty of V-Ray licenses, but you're going to see only those which are available to you. And those of you who already have V-Ray, you probably use the dongle. And the new licensing will work also with the dongle. So if you prefer to use it, it will work with that as well. But the thing nowadays is that what will happen when we forgot the dongle at home? Then we need to go back and pick it up. So now we have this online license system where you can just log in and you're going to have your licenses available for you at any point, at any time. So, for example, if I want to work at home, I just need to log in and I'm going to see the licenses available for me. Well, you probably will ask, what about when we are what about when we don't have an internet connection? Of course, we have thought about this as well. And we have here an offline section where you can borrow the licenses you need for this particular machine where you're sitting at. So it is very, very flexible. So, this was pretty much all about the licenses and the installation. Now it's time to jump in Revit. It's over here, and to show you all this. So when you install V-Ray, you're going to see this, these icons. This is the V-Ray toolbar, the ribbon, and from here I'm going to go over every single icon to talk about a little, and then I'm going to show you some stuff. So from here I can activate the view from where I want to render. I can also type from yard and choose this view. Then under the rendering button you can find render with production or render using the interactive rendering of V-Ray TRT. And then here is this option, export VR scene. So for example, when your project is ready to render, but you want to work further with Revit, you can export a V-Ray scene and render using the V-Ray standalone on a different machine, on a different render node. So this is also something useful. Then this here is the V-Ray frame buffer. Here will appear the rendering itself, but the V-Ray frame buffer has also many other options, which you see just in a few moments. Then, as I mentioned, V-Ray for Revit is really simple to use and to set up. You have here presets for the quality, so I can choose between draft, low quality, medium, high, and very high. For this presentation, I'm going to render using the draft quality, so we don't waste any time in the rendering, because I want to show you many things. And here you can find the resolution. So we have a bunch of presets where you can choose from, or you can have your custom resolution, lock the aspect ratio. what else? Then here you can enable the artificial lights. So we do support IES lights. Then here under the V-Ray Sun, you can find the V-Ray Sun itself, which also support the native path of the native Revit Sun. And internally, V-Ray will calculate the sun using the V-Ray Sun. Then here, this is something very useful, and this is the dome light. So with it, you can actually light your entire scene using HDRI map. Very useful. Then this is the material browser. We do support all the materials in Revit, so we are going to render them, but also you can override them using V-Ray material, diffuse texture, or a color. You will see how this goes just in a few moments. And then this here is something very powerful. Those are the global material overrides in V-Ray. So we can override all the opaque materials in our scene and all the transparent materials in our scene using a diffuse, using just a color or also a material. Why this can be helpful? Well, overriding everything, people can understand space, can understand size and lighting better without actually being distracted by any textures. So you see how this goes just in a few moments as well. So then we have here the camera settings. This is the standard camera. Then you can render with VR camera, creating a cube map. Then we have here a bunch of additional effects, for example, for the focus, optical vignetting, and you can see at this camera like the real-world camera, but not everyone needs to have photographic understanding to be an actual photograph and knows what exposure or depth of field effects are. So we have simplified all this by creating those sliders. So with the RT running, you can easily play with the sliders and see how things change. Then let's take a look at the settings. So here in the paths, you can tell to V-Ray where your materials are. Then you have here enable autosave checkbox. So V-Ray will automatically save your render when it's finished. Then you have export settings. Those export settings are for the V-Ray scene. So if you decide to use this one, here you can find your settings. Then we have here render channels. Those of you who already use V-Ray probably know the render channels like render elements. It's the same. So the render elements or the render channels in our case give us really more control in the post when we decide to make our image beautiful, more beautiful in Photoshop. Then the V-Ray denoiser is something which comes with the latest core of V-Ray 3.4, and it is very powerful, powerful feature. So it will help you to get perfectly clean images for less time, and you see how this goes a little bit later on. So then here the sharing section is also something useful. When you do some changes in the render settings of V-Ray, for example, you don't like the grass material, the standard grass material in Revit, and you have overwritten it with your custom one. You have overwritten other materials, or you have done some changes to the camera. Then you can collect all these render settings and export them. So after that, you can load them in another scene, or also for example, if your colleague has a different version of Revit, for example 2015, he can load the settings in there as well. Here, this is the RT, the V-Ray RT, the interactive rendering of V-Ray with its settings. The important here to say is that you have the opportunity to render on your CPU, of course, but if you have a really powerful GPU, you can take advantage of that and render on the GPU. So for now, we support GPU CUDA, but OpenCL is coming also very soon. So here you can see the settings for the presets. So if you want to change some of them, you can change them from here. Here under the fog section, you can see the environmental effects available in V-Ray for Revit. I will demonstrate you this also in a few moments. Then the swarm, the V-Ray swarm, is our distributed rendering manager, which you will also see in a while. So I just wanted to make a very fast overview over the ribbon in here. So I want to demonstrate everything using the basic sample project scene, which comes with Revit. So if you want, you can follow along. And if I decide to render from yard, you will see that the toolbar in here is, I cannot access it anymore. This is limitation which comes from Revit, and it does not affect only us, but it affects everyone. So if we want to start to render, we need to go into the 3D view from here. And now you see that this becomes accessible right now. So let's first start the interactive rendering of V-Ray. All right, here we go. And now, if I want, I can go in here from yard. This is here my view. And I can now go and orbit a little, so change the camera position and the RT will update, as you can see. I can zoom in, I can pan, and this is how I can set actually my camera position easily. Also, what I can do is go in here and change the position of the sun, for example. And you see that the RT will update immediately. So this way I can see very fast how my lighting looks like, and find the best lighting for my scene. So let's now start the rendering. I want to show you something else. And for that, I need to jump back to the 3D view. I want to show you the override materials. So if I go in here, open the material editor, and the first thing I want to do is to override just by using a diffuse, a standard color. So I'm going to use this blue color for the transparent materials, and I want to make it a little bit more glossy and more reflective. And let's render this. So you can see now that I have overwritten all the opaque materials using this color, and all the windows using this particular color. Again, this is very useful when you just want to focus on the actual form of your building and how the lighting feels in there. So let's I want to show you something even cooler, and this is that with V-Ray you're going to get a bunch of materials ready to use. Like, for example, you have car paints, you're going to have some diagrammatic materials in here, then some fabric materials, and so on and so forth. The thing here, what I want to show you is the tune material. You can find the tune material from the diagrammatic materials, and also I want to jump from in another view. Just a second. So I want to jump in here under the section perspective and render. So you see that I'm overwriting the materials with this tune material, and also I have something like a sketchy look, like a drawing, because of those lines. You can achieve this effect using the diagrammatic materials like you saw. Also, something useful in the V-Ray frame buffer is the history. It's located in here. You just need to say where you want to save your images, and in this case I'm going to save them on the desktop. Okay, so this way you can track your progress by saving different images. You then can compare them, which one looks better. Also, you can type here a comment for that. So image 1, for example, just to show you that. So let's go back to the materials actually. And I want to show you something else that you can. I want to overwrite my material, the whole scene, using this here wood material. I also need to change the tiling of that, and I think I am ready to go. So this is how actually you can create renderings like this one, and to make the illusion like this is a very small wooden model. And again, I can go and save this in the history, and here I can type wood, and now if I go, I can make the comparison between those two. Also very handy. So, and the best part here is that you can actually change the materials. So let me show you how. This is the materials. This is the material, the wood material, which I used to render this one. But let's say that I want to have a darker wood. So the thing I need to do is to double click on this, and I'm going to get this V-Ray matte editor. So first thing you see is that you can see the actual material, how it looks like. This is the real, this is here, this is like a small interactive rendering, like a small V-Ray RT. And in the basic section, you see that those are the most important settings of the material. Here you can find also the advanced settings if you want to play with them. But let's focus now on the base settings. For example, now what I can do is to go cut the texture from the diffuse color, then go inside, and you see that now I don't have any texture, it's just this diffuse color. Now I can go in here and, for example, add the color correction node. click and in here and paste the texture. Now I can go and increase the saturation for that, or decrease the brightness. And when I'm happy with the result, I can go back, and you see that this is the material what I get. I also can make it reflective, like this. Also decrease the glossiness, and I will see how the material looks like without any need to apply it on the geometry and to render that. So now I can go save this material and use it in my scene. This is how also you can build your own library. Very easy and also very useful thing here. All right, then. Now I'm going to disable the global override materials. I also want to jump again from here from yard. And let's actually render. I'm going to save the progress so we can compare the images after that. So this is the default scene. Now what I want to do, let's save this one. So now what I want to do is to override another materials. So the first, I want to override the glass material, this one, with just with a color. Let's render. And you see that now all the windows are going to be overwritten with this particular material. So people will focus now more on the windows. Also, you have the opportunity to override it with a V-Ray material. So you can choose from the materials. Those are the materials which you're going to get with V-Ray. I have saved my materials in a different folder, so I need to navigate to it. And this is my glass material. Then I'm going to override another materials. For example, this one in here, using again V-Ray material. So I have prepared a material for that in advance. And also I know here the proper tiling of my material because I have tested this out. And if you want to see the material, how it looks, you can click on this window and the V-Ray matte editor will appear. So you can see here exactly how your material looks like. Okay. Then I need to override also the concrete. It's this one, again using the V-Ray material. So what else? I want to override also the material for the roofing, and it is this one, I think. Again, I have prepared a material for that, which I'm going to pick, and let's set the tiling for that. And the last one, I really don't like the grass, the standard grass material in here, so I prefer to override it with this material in here. Let's just go and change again the tiling for that. And rotate it a little bit. So let's do a test render now. And here we go. As you can see, I have totally different feeling of the scene only by overwriting a couple of materials, making them to look more real, and yeah, so this is how it goes. The thing here is that I missed something, and you all know that in the real world, in the air, there are very small particles flying, and when the light bounces between them, some objects appear less visible than another. So we need to add a little bit atmospheric effects in here. So to do so, I'm going to open the settings, and under the fog, I'm going to enable the aerial perspective. I want the effect to affect also my environment, and I'm going to set here the atmospheric height. With the atmospheric height, I'm setting the height limit of the effect, and a view distance. With the view distance, I define the density of this effect. So let me just save this image here so we can do a comparison, and let's render. So now you can see that I have here this fog effect, but I don't like it so much. It's too dense. So what I can do, of course, I can save it in here, so I can make a comparison between the different renders. So now I'm going to increase the height of the effect, and also I want to see more from the house. So let's type 4 and render again. And now you can see that I have less from the environmental effect. I can go and compare again the renders. So let's talk about the frame buffer now. So I'm going to make it at full screen. And another very powerful thing of the V-Ray frame buffer is that you get here a lot of color correction, for example, which gives you really a lot of control directly in the frame buffer, so you don't need to go in Photoshop and, for example, lift the exposure or the contrast. Then what you have is also light balance, so you can make your render look warmer or colder. You have, of course, hue and saturation, so I can decrease the saturation and make black and white image. I can save it in the history so I can compare again after that. Then I have color balance, and this is something pretty cool because you can adjust them all, but you can also change the color only for the shadows and also for the highlights separately, which is something useful. Then, of course, you have levels, you have curve control to add a little bit of contrast in your image. I can save again. And the reason why I have saved here a couple of images is to show you that you can also load those color corrections directly from the history. So if I click in here and right mouse click, I can go and say, hey, load color corrections. And V-Ray will load for me the color corrections saved in the image. So I'll do the same here or from here. Also, you have the opportunity to save those color corrections on your hard drive and then reuse them. So I have prepared here, color corrections. So let's load them. They are in here. This is, for example, for the grayscale. Then I can load also this one and do additional changes to that if you want and if you need. So this is how we have created, let me show you those renders, rendering. So this is how we have created those renders in here. So this is the grayscale render, or this one, only by playing around with the color corrections from the V-Ray frame buffer. So now what I want to show you is how we also created from a summer scene, how we have created this winter scenario. So let's minimize all this. Okay. I will disable the aerial perspective for now. And I'm going to start the RT. I think what I want to show you right now is the V-Ray dome light. You can find it from here. So let's enable this one. And first, I'm illuminating the scene now just with this color. You can pick, of course, another one if you want. But the powerful thing here is that you can use an HDR image to light your entire scene. Like in this case, this comes also with V-Ray for Revit. And of course, you can go and increase the intensity of it. You can rotate it the way you want. And why this is useful? Well, because when you build something and you know already the place where your building is going to be built, you can go at this certain place and make your custom, your own HDR map, and have the same lighting conditions in Revit and represent the same lighting conditions, which is really useful. So I'm going to stop the rendering and load another HDRI because, as I mentioned, I'm after more, how to say it, more winter look. So I need a little bit more colder HDR and not so summer-like. So let's just wait until the image is loaded in here. And I want to show you something else. When we decrease, for example, the intensity of the light, so like this, I'm going to start again DRT. There is another parameter, how you can change the brightness of your image. You can control it also from the exposure value from here. Let me show you this. So now it's pretty dark because I have a lower this intensity parameter in here. But by clicking here, I can increase that. And you see here it says sunshine. I can go like 11. And I start seeing something from the HDR. So I can go higher or even higher. Let's set it at 7. This is also how you can control the brightness of your image directly from the camera. All right, so in order to get the image which I showed you, I need to do some other changes. I need to overwrite the grass material again because I need snow and also the roofing. So let's go into here in the materials. I don't need this anymore, so let's close it. Grass. And this time I need to find ground snow. Okay, and let's set here the proper tiling for that. And again, I found out that 30 looks nice for this texture. Then roofing. Here it is. And I have here roof snow, so I'm picking this material. And let's again set the tiling for that and rotate it at 90 degrees. So, and the final thing which I'm going to do is to enable the lighting inside. So let's now go and render this one. And here we go, we can see already that we have here snow at the ground and some snow up here. And I'm going to show you again the high res so you can see it better. Again, since we don't have so much time, I have rendered this in advance, but you can see here the snow here as well on the roofing. And this is how we have created this winter image. The only thing which I miss here is the nice glow effect from the lights, which you see in here. So I can use here the lens effects, which are also part from the frame buffer. You can find them in here. They are post effects, so we need until the rendering is finished in order to enable them, or I can just go and stop the rendering in order to show you this. So let's make it at full screen. And this is how you can play with them. So they are going to be updated right away. So another thing is here that you have those glare effects in here as well. And again, so this is how we have created those nice glow effects without any need to go into Photoshop. All right, so let's see. This is actually a video what I have showed you right away. I didn't know if we are going to have enough time to show everything live, but I think we are good in the time right now. So about the camera effects. The following things I'm going to show using some videos because we have only 15 minutes left. And the first one are the camera effects. So let's play this one. In the camera effects, again, when you use them, you can start DRT. So you can see actually how those effects are going to affect your image. We have optical vignetting. You can set focal distance and play with the light balance of your image. About the V-Ray denoiser. The V-Ray denoiser is something really useful. You saw it. It can be activated under the render channels, and it will allow you to render your image with not so high quality. So for this case, I'm using the low quality, and you see here that I have some noise. And the denoiser will happen at the denoising process will happen at the end of the rendering process, and will clean up the noise for you in a few seconds. The denoiser itself is hardware accelerated, so it will calculate very fast after the rendering is finished. So let me play this video so you can see here the result. So this is the image. You can clearly see the result using the low quality preset from here. Let's activate the denoiser and renders once again using with the low quality. Just at the end, the V-Ray denoiser will clean the noise for us, ending up with perfectly clean image. So the V-Ray Swarm. The V-Ray Swarm is our distributed rendering manager, and many times, you know, when you have deadlines, we need more render power in order to render our high quality images. So for this, in this case, we can use render nodes, additional render nodes, and this is here our V-Ray Swarm system. You can. This is actually the manager for the rendering nodes. You can build groups from render nodes, and if you don't need them, so here I'm going to increase the number, and you see here more buckets are coming in to help in the rendering process. So here they are. You can also, and this is here how it looks like. You see which render nodes are rendering right now. And I can also decrease their number if I need them to do another job. And again, I'm using all them to complete the rendering process. All right. So virtual reality, this is something very trendy nowadays. Everybody talks about that. It's commonly used technique nowadays to show to your clients, to your clients your model, and this is how people can understand size best, just to feel like they are actually in the room or in front of the building. And in using V-Ray, it is very easy to render this here, this cube map, this stereoscopic cube map. Then you can load it in your phone, for example, and show it to your clients using a cardboard or a Samsung Gear VR. And this goes really very straightforward. The thing we need to do is to go, and so this is the scene, by the way, so you can see. And it will cost you nothing because you have already created everything. The only thing you need to do is to change the camera, set the proper resolution for that, and render. This is everything. And this is how it looks like. There is also here on the left, down here, you can see that I can preview the stereoscopic effect, and this is how it looks like when you have it on your Oculus headset. So let's summarize now. What you're getting with V-Ray for Revit, designer-friendly interface. So you saw how easy it is to render. Really straightforward. We have built presets for everything. Using the interactive rendering V-Ray, you can easily set up your lighting, change some materials, see which fits better for the situation. Then you can light up your entire scene using HDRI maps. You have real-world camera settings in order to make your image looks more photoreal. Then you saw how easy it is to overwrite your Revit materials, replacing them with realistic looking physical materials. You are getting also a lot of presets for them. You can change them, save them, build your own library. Then you have those diagrammatic materials which will allow you to render sketchy like a drawing images. Then the V-Ray denoiser will help you to get your better quality images for less time. Then you can add some environmental effects using the aerial perspective and the environmental fog. Virtual reality just with 2 simple clicks, and the V-Ray swarm system will allow you to add more render power to your pipeline and meet your deadlines. All right, what else? Of course, for more information, you can visit our website. I'm pretty sure you know it, chaosgroup.com. This is the Revit section. Then on our documentation website, you can find every single parameter explained for you. Under our on our YouTube channel, we have already a list with different videos where you can see how to use the different features. Also, we have launched a couple of tutorials, and we are planning to launch to upload also more tutorials, so you can start to use V-Ray for Revit very easily. And yeah, I always prefer to end the presentation with something nice. In this case, I have picked this words from Daniel, which is a BIM manager from Renzo Piano Building Workshop. I'm pretty sure you know about them. And they tested V-Ray for Revit, and he said the following thing: we can test out ideas, get feedback, and make decisions faster. V-Ray for Revit brings a new level of freedom and is something we think most architects will be excited about. So thanks to Daniel for these nice words. I hope, guys, that you also are interested in the product. And if so, that you can contact PROCAD for that, for additional information about pricing, etc.